Suicide Squad might be the most hated game of 2024. Whether it be its UI problem during high action sequences, its relation to Arkham series, or how Rocksteady Studios ruined the Arkham universe and defiled Kevin Conroy's and gaming's lovely Batman characterization. However, what's ironic is that these people didn't raise their voice against Palworld's AI character designs, but prefer to supposedly protect Kevin Conroy's Batman legacy. Although Kevin Conroy, may he rest in peace, really did a good job with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's Batman portrayal. Anyway, I played Suicide Squad. I finished Suicide Squad's main storyline in 14 hours while doing the side quests and some of the endgame content. And today, I would like to talk about what it offers, what its problems are, while talking about its overall concept and so on. As from the game's name, you can imagine what this game is about. So of course I will be talking about its boss fights and as well as its endgame concept, but besides all of these, I will avoid any cutscene or story related spoilers. I'm Arcadenaut here, and today I will take you to a place where supervillains meet with Borderlands, kind of a concept. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an ambitious attempt to blend various gameplay styles within the iconic DC universe. Namely, Rocksteady's Arkham universe's concept hinges on an inversion of typical superhero tropes, placing players into the shoes of anti-heroes tasked with stopping the world's greatest heroes. If you don't like Suicide Squad's punkish, rebellious atmosphere and its Guardians of the Galaxy kind of a humor, I don't think you would enjoy the overall journey nor the playable characters. As prisoners of Arkham Asylum, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang and King Shark are approached by Amanda Waller, and soon after, our anti-heroes find themselves having a nanobomb in their own heads and forced to work under Amanda Waller under the name Task Force X. Their mission is to kill the Justice League that is under the influence of Brainiac. Brainiac serves as a central antagonist, orchestrating the chaos that unfolds in Metropolis. He has managed to corrupt the Justice League, turning them against humanity. And here you may wonder how Suicide Squad is able to fight against Justice League, right? Well, with all of the good guys gone, we plan to kindly capture the bad guys to help in our cause. The Penguin, Poison Ivy, and even Lex Luthor himself aid us in our holy crusade against the Justice League, providing us with gadgets and weapons that would hurt Justice League. In this matter, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League feels like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Our team gets used to killing members of Justice League, we have access to new abilities, new gadgets and new guns, and by doing that, with each target down, our target becomes Brainiac himself. While specific gameplay and story details about Brainiac's involvement are meticulously crafted to fit the narrative of the game, his presence on the other hand is mostly felt by the gigantic skull-shaped airship and during the very end game. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is not a journey that focuses on the narrative or its story, and I believe it's best to expect a full action experience that has somewhat the vibes of Borderlands with The Division or Destiny. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League weaves together the signature dark humor and action-packed sequences expected from the Suicide Squad franchise. And players get to play as either Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang or King Shark for the time being. Every character gets to use 3 different weapons. For example, Harley Quinn can use pistols, SMGs and miniguns. Deadshot uses assault rifles, sniper rifles and SMGs. Captain Boomerang uses shotgun, SMGs and assault rifle. King Shark uses miniguns, shotguns or assault rifles. While they have their own separate skill trees, the abilities that can be unlocked by leveling up your characters. Harley Quinn is quite agile with her chaotic energy, wielding her signature baseball bat, and Batman's grappling hook for traversal, reflecting her acrobatic combat style. Her gameplay is geared towards players who enjoy fast-paced, close-quarters combat. Meanwhile, Deadshot offers a gameplay experience focused more on precision and range attacks, while he is equipped with jetpack for aerial maneuvers, as he provides a tactical advantage from a distance. Captain Boomerang uses the Speed Force of Flash, a unique movement mechanic that adds a strategic layer to combat and exploration. Captain Boomerang is for players who appreciate a mix of range attacks and a swift, unpredictable movements. Last but not least, King Shark is more about brute force and resilience. He can be the tank of the group, capable of dealing and absorbing significant damage. His sheer power and ability to leap great distances make him a formidable presence on the battlefield, and each character's distinct movement abilities, like Harley's grapple, Deadshot's jetpack, Boomerang's teleportation and King Shark's leaping, they all add depth to exploration and combat. But post-apocalyptic Metropolis isn't that intriguing to explore, as you mostly find yourself traveling from rooftop to rooftop and only fight on ground when it's necessary. You can get the switch characters whenever you want. However, I would mostly advise you to change the characters depending on the mission you choose, as it shows a specific character that is psyched for that mission. These psyched characters provide additional dialogues, additional experience points for that character, and resources that you can use to buy weapons or to upgrade your gear when that mission is completed. And as I mentioned before, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a looter shooter, and it expects you to fight against hordes of Brainiac's troops while swinging through your grappler hook, hovering through the air, increasing your combo meter by doing your Suicide Strike special moves or traversal abilities that deal an insane amount of damage for a group of enemies, throw your grenades all around the metropolis, spread your bullets around. It is just a looter shooter with a high octane action and movement. However, its content and features are quite mediocre. Although the action is full of jumping around and throwing grenades and never becomes dull, the mission contents are repetitive and mediocre. You find yourself defending Poison Ivy's plants against hordes of enemies. You find yourself defending Lex Luthor's payload trying to assault Brainiac's terraformers, and you find yourself trying to capture wounded soldiers or civilians into your Pokeball like a gizmo to save their life amidst the chaos, but overall, it is just you against hordes of enemies, shooting, defending or destroying targets, and nothing extraordinary. From start to finish I played on hard difficulty, and only by some specific side missions I did feel the challenge and the frustration. Even the boss fights against the Justice League took only one try to complete, with of course careful positioning and good gear. Lack of variety and depth of missions may get better with each post-launch updates, but at the moment it is mostly brain-dead shooting with high-octane action. Unfortunately, these repetitive tasks don't leverage the unique setting of Metropolis or the diverse abilities of the characters, as these side missions and main story tasks feel too similar, leading to a monotonous gameplay loop that fails to evolve significantly over time. However, the endgame content feels somewhat better than overall game progression. And before jumping into the endgame content, if I were to talk about that UI controversy, only when your health or your shield is low, the UI becomes too complex and maybe too disturbing to look at. Even though UI seems crowded during the boss fights or during the action sequences, I think it's not that bad as people claim it to be. And even if UI becomes too complex with your health and shield is low, you know how to avoid the damage, where to hit your enemies, and just like many other looter shooter games, the damage indicators just come and gone based on your hits. So Suicide Squad may have a lot of problems, but I think a bad UI design isn't one. Of course it's not that great, I'm not defending it, but it's also not a cause to hate on the game. And if I were to talk about the endgame content of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, it includes incursion missions that follow the final boss, Brainiac. After you are done with Justice League, you get to find yourself visiting multiverses, and currently having only one. Finite Crisis that lets you earn Bane-type weapons. These missions are designed to be replayed at increasing levels of difficulty, with the goal of unlocking new weapon sets and other rewards. Basically, turning your Suicide Squad experience into something like Diablo has. You earn better gear, level up your team, and then aim higher difficulties for more resources and better loot. and maybe for some best in slot stuff. I wouldn't call it its best among the looter shooters, but its endgame content has potential, especially with Joker being the first big update, and then possibly Mr. Freeze coming as the next with their own multiverse maps. Suicide Squad may have higher potential if they implement more depth to their gameplay and mission content rather than just throwing hordes of enemies. It's fun, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't mean that it's not shallow or anything. And on the other hand, there is also one thing that I need to talk about. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has charming visuals and incredible character design that convey the emotion and personality with startling realism. The interactions between the Suicide Squad are humorous and also entertaining and go well with the narrative, meaning that despite these shortcomings, there is an undeniable charm to the chaos and camaraderie among the members of Suicide Squad, as these details in the facial expressions and design add depth to the characters. When it comes to the design, especially Batman's boss battle sequence is quite memorable when it comes to the art design, but I can't say the same for the boss mechanics. And for boss fights, Flash and Superman fights were challenging, but I wouldn't call these boss battles memorable or unique. I think I will be more satisfied if there were more gameplay mechanics and character-based abilities rather than just relying on weapons and shooting elements. I think a gameplay experience that is more similar to Gotham Knights would have suited Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League more, and I think that would have made the overall experience more enjoyable and varied. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is unfortunately quite mediocre. It can be quite fun with its action sequences, character progression and gear customization choices also, but still all of these features are quite shallow for a live service experience. If you're into superhero and looter shooter games, you might find some stuff that would keep you entertained. I finished this main story, as I told you before, in 14 hours, and now doing some of the post-game contents just out of curiosity until the first big update launches. It could have been a lot more, it could have offered a way better gameplay experience, but preferred to stick behind the third-person shooter approach. However, I think Suicide Squad can still be redeemed and improved if Rocksteady is willing to do it. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and starting with late January there are really big titles launching, and I will do my best to prepare contents about those games as well. So don't worry, I'm still playing Tekken 8 and will make a video about my ranked match experience, but any humble support through Patreon or YouTube join is really appreciated. Stay tuned.